Back on July 1st, I set what seemed to be a ridiculous goal for myself: to run a marathon in 4 months. At the time, it felt far-fetched and almost seemed impossible from where I was prior to me even setting this challenge. But I just decided to go for it. Before, I only lifted weights, and at the time, I never ran anything over a mile before. And this challenge not only resulted in changing my life, but changing the trajectory of it. And well, to be completely honest with you, it was not the easiest feat to overcome. I overcame a lot of adversity, struggles, and self-doubt over these last few months of training. But hey, I completed it. And well, it's been 1 week now, so I'm definitely not hurting, right? I'm still hurting. Anyways, keep watching till the end to know why running a marathon completely changed my life, and well, running any distance can completely change yours too. So, without further ado, I need to take you back to where it all began. In February, I weighed 170 pounds, which was the heaviest I've ever weighed. I ate so much and became lazy, so much so that working out felt more like a chore than anything else. I truly felt defeated, and I didn't think that there was a way out of this life I was stuck in. But all of a sudden, the lack of motivation and the lack of work gave me the idea that something needs to change. And with that, I challenged myself to complete 75 hard. Maybe, just maybe, this challenge would lead me into the right direction that I've always wanted to go. And also, no, this is not a 75 hard video, but honestly, without this challenge, I wouldn't have even considered running a marathon in the first place. Well, because it gave me hope. Part of the challenge required 45 minutes of outdoor workouts. And, well, with the limited options I had, I was really left with no choice but to run in the cold and freezing February weather that we had. It was hard, I won't lie. And at first, I hated it. I truly did. I just couldn't wrap my head around about how people run all year round and enjoy it. Things came to a rocky start between me and running at the beginning. All of a sudden, as the weeks went on, something shifted in me. Running became, honestly, an escape of my problems. And it became a great way to experience nature. And well, even though I didn't love it, by the end of the challenge, I wound up not hating running as much as I did. So fast forward to June 31st. My running was actually pretty consistent, doing once or twice a week. I didn't run that long, I ran only 3 to 4 miles during that stretch, but it's something rather than nothing. Prior to that, I kicked off my YouTube channel 3 months before in March. And at the time, I was really running out of ideas. As in, I was making Minecraft content, and nothing was really sticking, and I was kind of lost. I lost the passion to upload those kind of videos. I honestly didn't know where to turn next. But over the course of 75 Hard and the months prior, I was watching a lot of motivational videos. And there's this one-liner that stayed stuck in my head. Life is like a marathon, not a race. I repeated that line to myself so much so that it became a part of my personality. Then, later that same night, I realized something. I can make running more than a hobby. It can be the fuel needed to jumpstart this new life that I aim for. I now had a brand new purpose, and inspired, I signed up for a marathon in November. I remember telling all my friends and family, and they honestly thought I was a madman. But little did they know the person I would become in the next few months. I threw myself into training, running 3 to 4 times a week and hitting new milestones every week that I never thought I could hit in the first place. By July 12th, I completed my first ever 12-mile run. It was one of the most accomplishing feelings I've ever felt at that time, continuing the drive of running for me. Then I got the rush to push myself even further, and I signed up for a half marathon 2 months before the big race in September. The half itself, although I was very well trained and prepared for it, was a really tough task. And at the end, I was gassed. I finished the race in under 2 hours, which gave me good confidence but also created doubts for me. If I can barely run 13.1 miles, because I was struggling at the end, then how can I ever expect to run 26.2 miles in only 2 more months? And well, soon after that race, I hit a wall. The constant running finally hit me, and I was drained out for about a month. All of October, I barely even ran. I lost focus on the goal at hand. And once November rolled over, panic set in because I only had 4 weeks to prepare for this. I didn't know what happened to me during the month of October. I felt like I lost my character. But the idea that the race was rapidly approaching gave me motivation to continue to push myself again, because I didn't have another option. There was no turn back option for me. It was either I complete the race or I fail. So I pushed myself even harder and harder, knowing that, well, it's now or never. I then wound up running 17 miles the 1 week and then 22 miles 2 weeks later. I managed to get my drive back for running, and I felt more than prepared to go into this marathon. Well, the marathon was certainly an experience that I will never forget. I came prepared, stretching, carb loading, and even making sure I have sugar tablets and bandages, all ready just in case if anything goes bad. The race was an absolute blast, and everybody that showed up was so supportive. The family members, the people who just wanted to watch, and then also the racers. Everybody was in it together. There was nobody excluded. So I had a lot of laughs. I met a lot of interesting people. I loved every single second of it. And once I got done the race, once I finally stepped across that finish line, I realized one thing, that the marathon wasn't the hardest part of this journey. It was the training that built up to it that was the hardest. Finishing in 4 hours and 15 minutes felt surreal, and I owe it all to the discipline that I built along the way. I remember hugging my mom afterwards and her being so proud of me. Truly one of the most accomplished days I've ever had. And so accomplished that the rest of the day I just sat on the couch and did absolutely nothing. Just reflecting on what I just did. I've learned a lot over these past 4 months. And when I said that the marathon was the easiest part, I truly meant that. The runs I did every single day only made the final run that much easier. I was training up my body and building up endurance. And this goes back to the saying that life is a marathon, not a race. You cannot expect to simply sprint through life. We all live long-lasting lives, and we shouldn't feel the need to get everything done all at once. It creates too much pressure on you and you wound up collapsing way before the race even started. But if you start the race slow, you'll have a better chance of making it at the end. No matter how long it takes, it doesn't matter, because you feel accomplished at the end once you pass that finish line. So what will you do? You can still rush through life, but you're probably going to crash out before the finish line, and well, you might not amount to anything. There is no pressure at all to rush through life, and you should try keeping the same pace and remain steady. No matter how long it takes, continue to remain consistent and you'll get to the places that you want to be in life. Now, during this experience, my discomfort with running went away. The more and more repetition I did, the less it hurt. I also noticed that this can apply to many aspects of life. In school, at the gym, or in your social life, I realized that this plays a big role everywhere. And it's an ability that most successful people have. Think about it. Successful people walk into problems knowing that it's not going to be the most comfortable situation. But the more and more they keep putting themselves through those situations, the more comfortable they get. It's only logical. Because no matter how hard it is, the time you spent on it will make it that much easier. It doesn't take talent most of the time to achieve greatness. Rather, it takes discipline to go through the pain, the initial pain of trying new things. So don't be afraid to try new things. Now, after the race, I approach life's challenges in a new light. I approach it with confidence that if I can imagine me succeeding, then there is no doubt that I will succeed. And trust me, I'm not going to be satisfied with just running a marathon. I've got some wild goals coming up that will only make me a stronger person. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. Now, whether it's wintertime or whatever time of the year that you're in, your winter art can be your crucial turning point into changing your life for good. Check out this video next to turn into somebody unrecognizable in the next 90 days.